real estate information. How to. That's some of our most requested shows that we get. We get a lot of emails, a lot of texts, a lot of calls, a lot of correspondence from you all, the nation, and we really appreciate that. By the way, all the feedback, the good, the bad, the ugly, it doesn't matter. We appreciate it.
Hold on a minute. Let's clarify. We got clarification here.
All right.
Janet said, yes, I love sugar babies. Daddies are okay, but the babies are better.
Gotcha.
So is it sugar babies or sugar daddies?
There's two of them.
Okay.
Sugar babies are the little ones
Okay.
that get in the box.
Yep.
They're like little round ones.
They're like milk duds.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sugar daddies are like
One's on the stick.
I thought I was like Siobhan Sugar Daddy is what I thought.
Yeah, I got you. I have no idea.
So I didn't know.
I ain't going down that road right now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going down that road right now. So again, you sugar daddies, you sugar babies, whatever you are, we're going to give you some information here today about real estate. How to. That's where I was at. How to. And what we're going to talk to you about today is how to prepare for house hunting.
Right.
Right? Not necessarily the whole process, but literally just how to get yourself prepared for the house hunting process.
Yes.
We've told you for a while, you've known it for a while because you watch this show and we give you the information, is you know that the real estate market, it changes all the time. Things are happening, interest rates, prices going up and down, homes coming on and off the market, these being sold, inventory being up and down. Things change. So again, we're going to talk to you today about no matter what's going on with the real estate market, how you can prepare yourself when it comes time for you to venture into that house hunting process. What again is something that you probably need to know about this. So I'll get us started with number one, or you want to go first? I got one of them. I'm just going to go off the paper here with two.
Okay.
I
like it when we make them up.
Yeah. So again, here's number one. Okay. You need to know this right here about real estate. You hear this all the time. Okay. You hear this statement made. Now is the time. If you are ever going to buy a house, now is the time for you to buy that house.
Right.
All right. Well, really, in the grand scheme of things, in looking at everything, throwing it all in the hat, putting it all together, there really is never a right time.
Right.
That you could say the time is right for you to buy real estate. And here's why I say that. Because everybody's situation is different.
Right.
Every person needs to buy or sell real estate when it's right for you.
Right.
No matter what's going on in the market, no matter if it's a good time to buy, interest rates is low, home prices are up, no matter what may be happening,
right.
No matter what the market is doing, know that the market should not determine really what you do.
Right.
Because it's a personal choice. It's something that you yourself have to look at it and say, is it the right time for my family to buy? Is it the right time for me to sell my house? So you got to kind of answer that question for yourself. We have people literally that call us and say, everybody's telling me to go buy real estate, or everybody's telling me now is the time to sell my house. Well, there's so many things that go into that.
Right.
That really looks at it to say, is this right or is it wrong? Well, we really can't tell you what's right for you.
Right, yeah. Everybody's circumstances are different.
That's exactly right.
So
you got to look at it, and no matter what may be going on in the market, no matter what may be happening, no matter what may be coming, know that just because it may be right for someone else, it may not be right for you.
Right.
So when we're talking
about
vice
versa.
Absolutely. How to prepare for house hunting is the first thing you got to look at and say, is the time right for me? That right now where I am in my life and the situations and my needs that I have, is the time right for me to buy now? Right. You need to answer that question and establish that right up front.
Yes.
Right up front. We're talking today about how to prepare for house hunting. Things you need to think about. Things you need to be aware of. You need to ask yourself, the question is it time? Is the time right for me? What do you got for number two?
Number two, and I think this is a big one, but it's don't ask for too many opinions.
Sure.
Okay, now again, I know it's a big decision for a lot of people when they're going to buy a house, as it should be.
It really should be.
It really should be a big decision. That's a big commitment.
You better take it serious.
Yes. But a lot of times, and I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but it's like we're in I'm in a thing here lately to where I'm seeing this a ton. But so it's okay to ask people for their opinions.
Sure.
But it wouldn't be smart for me to ask you for the opinion of what I need in my next house because you don't live there.
Sure.
So a lot of times people mess up. And again, I'm not saying this in a bad way a lot, but I've seen a lot here lately where people are bringing moms and dads with them.
Sure.
And again, moms and dads bought houses in the 80s.
Sure.
And they still live in that house, which is no problem with
Sure,
that.
not at all.
But the market is a different market than it is in the 80s.
Absolutely.
So
Things have changed.
Yeah, and so it's a lot that there's some discouragement coming there because, well, when I bought my house in the 80s, I paid this for it.
This
Well, it's
happened.
2019 now.
Sure, right.
But also, again,
Right.
what might apply to what you need in a house
Right.
is not going to apply to what I need in a house.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. So a lot of times that will, you get too many opinions. You get too many people trying to say, well, I do this and I do that and I do this. And then so you can't never go back and find what everybody, if we all come together, there's 20 people watching right now,
Sure.
and we all decided what we would put in our next house.
The next house.
That
How many
would-
opinions you going to have?
That would be super hard to find that house.
Absolutely.
That has
100%.
everything that we've all just said we need.
That's exactly right.
So again, it's okay to ask for opinions
Sure.
and advice, but at the end of the day, you're the one living in the house.
Right.
So you need to be the one who forms the opinion of, does this house
There you go.
work for me?
That's what you have to do, because honestly, it's perfectly okay to bring as many people along as you want to bring along. Bring the bus and load them up. That's okay.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you got to be the one calling the shots. You got to
Right.
be the one making the decisions, because you hit the nail on the head by saying it's going to be you and whomever else. If you got a family, you and your family, you and your spouse, you and your pets, you and whomever are going to be the one living and, more importantly, paying for
Right.
that house.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure those.
Yeah, now if
things
you want me to take
fit
your
you.
opinions into consideration, let's chip into the Space House people.
That's
together.
right.
You know
Let's
what I mean?
go. Let's roll with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, everyone's individual needs and different stages in their lives have those different needs. You do want to look for long-term solutions.
Right,
You do
yeah.
want to look for what's going to happen in the future, but you also have to understand that the typical home buyer is moving every 5 to 7 years.
Right.
So even though we may be looking at it, that I got to understand what's going to be happening and taking everybody's consideration and opinions in on, well, now 30 years from now when you can't walk up those stairs,
Right.
that's going to be a bad thing. That's a true story.
That's very true. But I'm going to say, I think that's because again, you'll see people that are elderly now.
Sure.
They look at that right there. But
Yes.
again, a lot of those people that are elderly now, when they bought their house in the 70s or whatever when it was, they're still living there. Well, the times have changed a little
Sure.
bit to where people don't stay in houses like they do. Now, to
Right.
me, I would be perfectly okay with staying in the houses forever.
Right.
I'm not a mover.
Right. And all we're doing here is telling you what market stats tell us.
Right.
The 5 to 7 years those people roll.
Right. So again, that's just how things
Yeah.
has changed.
Yeah.
So again, I agree. We need to look long term.
I agree.
But really long term, probably going to be 7 years.
Yeah, 5 to 7 years.
Right.
You're typically, again, if you go with the average, that's typically what is going to happen. If you just come in the room today, again, good crowd. We appreciate you guys being with us today, participating. 2 things you want to pay attention to. One is we got a poll question going on and we need your help with it. The question is, what's your favorite Halloween candy of all time? What, again, just do you absolutely love when you did, whether that's now or whether you used to do it? But again, what do you love? What's your favorite Halloween candy of all time? Second thing is, we are talking today about how to prepare for house hunting. Some things you need to take into consideration, things you need to look at and consider when it does come time for you, whether that be now or in the future, to purchase a home. We've went through 2 of a couple. We'll go with just a couple more again. Here's the third one, okay? This is a big one too, I think. You need to accept the fact that the perfect house, like if you would sit down and write it out, the chances of you absolutely finding the perfect house
Right.
is very low.
Yeah.
If you ask people that have
Especially
purchased
if
homes,
you're not building it.
again, taking this into consideration about what the market tells us, about what we see, about the perfect house may not exist.
Right.
And a lot of people, they end up missing the 99% house because they're looking for the 100% house.
Right.
Now, let me give you a disclaimer here. You find what fits you.
Right.
If you are bent on it has to be 100% this, do not stop looking till you find it.
We actually said that just a week or two ago.
Yes,
on the
we
show.
did. Do not stop till you find that house. We just want you to know the chances of you finding that are low.
Right.
They are low, especially with our inventory here in Tennessee where we're at right now, the market being low. Sometimes you may have to give or take here or there. And by giving and taking, I'm not saying you need a 3-bedroom and you're going to have to go buy a 1-bedroom condo.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
want an acre lot and you're going to have to, rent your yard off the neighbor.
Right.
I'm not saying those things. I'm just saying the 100% perfect house, not only in addition to the features,
Hello, Miss Rose.
but the 100% perfect house that may not need just a little bit something done to
Right.
it. May
Yeah.
need a carpet in a bedroom. It may need paint on the walls. It may need a couple little
That's what I was
different
going to
things
say.
here or there.
Stuff like it ain't painted the color that I want it to.
Absolutely.
I mean, honestly, you might think that's silly, but that happens a lot. Because
you
people,
are
they want it
100%
to
correct.
be this. I want to move my furniture in here.
Sure.
And not do a thing. And
Sure.
if that's what you need,
Hi, Grandma.
like we said just a time or two ago,
Yes.
if that's what you need because you can't do anything
That's
else,
right.
then that's what you need to look for.
You need to wait and get that.
But if you can do little odds and ends such
Absolutely.
as paint,
Yes.
or hire somebody to paint,
Sure.
if your finances will allow you to do that, you might not find the house because they might not be one painted purple like my tie. If I
Sure.
got to have a purple living room,
Right.
it's probably going to be hard for me to find that.
That's a true story.
So you might have to look and say, okay, well, I can't find one with a purple living room, but I
Right.
can paint it.
Absolutely.
I can go to Lowe's, spend $25 on a gallon of paint or whatever it costs, and I can paint it myself.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people get hung up on it's not perfect.
I agree 100%. I agree. Again, we're talking to how to prepare for house hunting. Dave's going to come up with the next to last one. What do you got
We
for
got the
number
last
4?
one here?
Number 4. You
Okay.
ain't got the last one. I'm going to throw one in
Okay.
the paper.
So this one might raise some hairs right here, but this is just the truth. Don't try to be the killer negotiator.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, I'm not saying that you have to come in and offer full price and pay your own closing costs.
No way,
and
man.
give them over the asking price or whatever. But a lot of times, especially in the last year, I want to say, in the last years, because our market has been so tight,
Tighten up.
negotiations has really woed way back.
Yes.
Woed way back. Again, not saying that there's not no negotiation
Right.
room. But having said that, when you come in, believe it or not, I might have told you this story, but I had somebody the other day that was going to offer $100,000 under the asking price.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
Now listen, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. Just
Right.
shooting you straight. That's why I said that will not work.
Right.
I don't care. It ain't
Right.
going to work.
Sure.
So don't try to be the tough guy and let's try to negotiate. Okay.
Sure.
It's okay, but don't insult people.
Sure, right.
And don't.
And that's what I was going to say.
Right.
That's what you're saying by that.
Right.
Negotiations are 100% normal.
Right.
100% normal. But you can't be the one that insults someone else's.
Well, because I turned right around, I told these people because they're selling their house too.
Right.
I said, what if somebody come in and cut you $100,000
Sure.
on your house?
Right.
How would you feel?
Right. Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. And again, we're giving you this information because this is things we see. These, again, we gave you some stats that the National Association of Realtors are telling us these things, and we just try to bring this information and pass it along to you. Now, here's the last one, and I'll make it quickly. But the last thing is when you're talking about how to prepare for house hunting, the thing that will kind of, all these little tips and tricks that we have here that we're telling you about today, if you really want some really first-hand thoughts on those, here's the last thing. The best way to prepare for house hunting is to call a real estate agent. Call a realtor.
Yeah.
And say, hey, man, woman, whoever, I'm getting ready to, my family has these aspirations of we're going to need a home at a certain date.
Yeah.
And we want to get your assistance in helping us to reach those goals.
Right.
You want to make it as simple as possible. That's one of the things that you need to do. You need to do. And,
Yeah.
and you're probably behind that camera watching me on your phone or your desktop, your iPad today and say, no, yes, you're going to definitely say that.
Right.
No way that, you're not going to tell us to do that. You're a real estate agent. Well, you got that right.
Yeah.
Because we know that this is the best way
Right.
for you to be able to do the right kind of things to probably achieve the dreams and the goals and aspirations that you have in finding your next home.
Yeah.
So, and that's a simple call. Call till you find one. that fits your needs.
Right.
There's many of them. If you're in the Lakeway area, there's 350 or more that's in this local association here. We want you to call us. But should you not want to because you don't like Dave's purple tie or whatever that it is, call somebody else.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you get a realtor, which goes by a code of ethics that says we're going to do things a certain way, we're going to represent people a certain way, that is literally the best thing you can do for your family.
Yeah, well, it's again like I had this conversation with Gary this morning. Gary was in the office. We was talking. Again, that's where a realtor is going to help you and prepare you for the process. I also had this same conversation 2 weeks ago when I went and bought my truck. Me and that salesman, he was like, your business is a whole lot different than mine because you come in here today, today's first day we've ever met, you're buying a truck and leaving. We'll probably never see each other again.
Right.
He said, but where with you, with your job, it's a process to where you've got 30 to 60 days that you're going to spend together with these people once you find them the right house.
That's exactly right.
You got to find them the right house first.
That's exactly right.
So again, that's where you need that relationship with a realtor.
I agree.
And again, that they're going to help you, give you the best advice that they can, and it's going to make your process a whole lot smoother if you do it that way.
I agree 100%. If you or you know anyone that should need any assistance in more information about how to prepare for house hunting, we would be literally tickled to death if you would have them to call us. We'll try our best to answer any questions that you may have about the house hunting, house buying, house selling process. We would love to do that.